You sit down to do one thing. One thing. Reply to an email. Finish an assignment. Read 3 pages. Possibly locate the document you opened specifically to finish. 9 minutes later, you are comparing noise-canceling headphones, half watching a video about ancient plumbing, checking whether anyone has replied to a message you sent 43 seconds ago, and wondering why you walked into the kitchen. You blame motivation. You blame discipline. You briefly blame the chair. But deep down, you suspect the truth. Your brain has been microwaved by tabs.
Good news. Your brain has not been microwaved. It has merely been interrupted, overloaded, bribed, trained to expect novelty, and placed in an environment designed by people who think silence is an unused advertising opportunity.
So why does concentrating now feel like trying to hold a serious meeting inside an arcade? And can you rebuild your attention before your final surviving brain cell opens another tab?
Chapter 1. Focus is a filter. Focus is not the ability to notice one thing. It is the ability to ignore almost everything else. Right now, your eyes, ears, and body are producing far more information than conscious thought can handle. Attention is the nightclub bouncer of the mind. It decides what enters, what waits outside, and which completely useless thought gets admitted because it apparently knows the manager.
Without filtering, you would notice the hum of the fridge, your left sock, every car outside, the position of your tongue.
Your filtering system is still working. The problem is that modern life keeps paying everything to jump the queue. Red badges, vibrations, autoplay, breaking news, urgent emails about meetings that could have been a sentence. Chapter 2. The Switch Tax. People say they are multitasking. Usually, they are not. They are switching between tasks very quickly and charging the bill to their own brain. When you move from a report to a message, your brain has to drop one set of rules, retrieve another goal, and load the new context. Then you return to the report and discover the sentence you were writing has left the country. Psychologists call the slowdown and extra errors after a change the switch cost. Even when you choose to switch, part of the previous task can remain mentally active and compete with the new one. The old goal does not vanish politely. It leaves fingerprints. That is why you can read the same sentence 3 times after answering a message and still absorb nothing except the growing suspicion that language has stopped working.
Multitasking is less like having 4 arms, and more like repeatedly leaving 4 rooms, forgetting why you entered them, and returning with a spoon.
One switch feels tiny. Tiny. Dozens of switches create a day full of mental setup and very little mental arrival. You feel busy because the machinery is moving. But much of the movement is changing tracks. Chapter 3. Your working memory has no storage cupboard. Working memory is the small mental workspace where you hold information while using it. A phone number before you type it. The beginning of a sentence while reading the end. The reason you open the cupboard. It is not long-term storage. It is the workbench. And when the workbench is covered with reminders, unfinished decisions, and 3 conversations, there is nowhere left to place the actual problem without balancing it on a mug. It is useful. It is also limited. Not slightly inconvenient limited. More like a studio flat trying to host a wedding reception. Every open task occupies some of that workspace. Remember the email, check the delivery, reply to Sam, finish the paragraph, look up the thing, do not forget the other thing. Eventually, your brain is not doing the task. It is holding the cue.
You have turned your working memory into an airport departures board during a thunderstorm. Everything is delayed, 3 items are missing, and nobody knows where gate 7.
Chapter 4. Notifications do not need permission. A notification does not have to be important to interrupt you. It only has to suggest that something might be important. That possibility is enough to pull attention toward it. Research has found that merely receiving a phone notification can disrupt performance, even when the person does not pick up the phone. The message has already entered the building. Your conscious mind may say, "I am ignoring it," but ignoring something still requires identifying what must be ignored. The interruption has already asked for processing, and your attention has already paid the entrance fee. Now, part of you wonders who it was, what they want. Whether it is good news, bad news, or a food delivery app announcing that chips still exist.
The modern notification is a tiny digital person standing beside your desk, whispering, "Excuse me, this may be nothing, but would you like to stop having a thought?"
Chapter 5. Novelty wins the bidding war. Deep focus is usually slow. The reward arrives later. You read, think, struggle, revise, and eventually understand something. The internet offers a competing arrangement. Or now. New thing now. Another new thing immediately after that. Novelty matters because new information might contain opportunity, danger, or reward. Your attention system was built to investigate change. It was not built to face 5,000 changes before lunch. The mechanism is not stupid. It is doing exactly what helped human beings notice movement, faces, and sudden changes in the environment. The absurdity comes from pointing that ancient alarm and opportunity system at an endless feed where every square is shouting, "This one might matter." After enough rapid stimulation, ordinary work can feel painfully quiet. A paragraph does not flash. A spreadsheet does not reveal a surprise celebrity. The washing up has terrible audience retention.
Your brain is not demanding entertainment because it is sophisticated. It has simply become the customer at a restaurant who sends back water because it is not sparkling.
Chapter 6. The Open Tab Effect. Open tabs feel harmless because they are silent. But each tab represents a possible action, unfinished question, or decision waiting to be made. Research this. Buy that. Read later. Apply soon. Compare 17 nearly identical kettles. The browser is not forcing you to think about all of them continuously, but it keeps every alternative visible, ready to become more appealing the moment the current task becomes difficult, slow, or mildly offensive. The tabs become visual reminders of everything you could be doing instead. Your attention does not merely choose the current task, it repeatedly rejects the alternatives.
47 tabs are not a research system. They are a digital attic. You know something valuable may be in there, but reaching it requires moving a broken lamp, 6 boxes, and a treadmill last used during a brief period of optimism.
Chapter 7. You practice what you repeat. Attention is shaped by repetition. Every time boredom appears and you immediately escape into a feed, you rehearse the same sequence. Discomfort, reach, tap, relief. Relief matters because it rewards the escape. The difficult feeling disappears for a moment, so the brain learns a brutally efficient lesson. When effort arrives, leave. Leave. Not because you are lazy, but because the exit has become fast, reliable, and permanently illuminated. The behavior becomes efficient. You no longer decide to check. Your hand begins negotiations without involving management. This does not mean your attention is permanently destroyed. It means your habits have become beautifully adapted to an environment of constant interruption. You trained for the wrong event.
You have become an elite Olympic competitor in checking absolutely everything and completing almost nothing. Magnificent reflexes. Troubling medal category.
Chapter 8. Why Willpower Keeps Losing. Sit down, try harder, resist everything. Become a productivity monk with excellent posture. This works beautifully for 11 minutes. Then attention gets tired, the task gets harder, or life sends one genuinely necessary message. The door opens once, and suddenly you are reading comments beneath a video you did not consciously choose to watch. Willpower is being asked to fight an environment that can interrupt you endlessly. The better strategy is not heroic resistance. It is fewer battles.
Do not place a plate of biscuits beside your keyboard and spend the afternoon proving you are morally stronger than biscuits. Move the biscuits. This is science, also kitchen management.
Chapter 9. How to Rebuild Focus. Start by choosing one visible target. Not work on the project. Open the document. Write the first paragraph. Edit one page. Create the first 3 slides. Vague work creates escape routes. Specific work gives attention somewhere to land. It also creates a finish line small enough to believe. The brain handles write 200 words far better than repair career, become organized, and finally understand spreadsheets. Second, remove the invitation to switch. Put the phone out of reach. Close the tabs you are not using. Silence non-essential notifications. Make distraction require an actual decision. Third, stop using your brain as storage. Write down the other tasks before they begin circling. A trusted list tells working memory it can release them without losing them. Fourth, work in protected blocks with real breaks. The exact number of minutes is less important than the rule. During the block, stay with one task. During the break, actually leave it. Do not convert the break into a faster, brighter version of work by opening 6 feet. Stand up. Move. Look into the distance. Let the attention system stop selecting for a moment instead of giving it a different emergency. Fifth, expect the first few quiet minutes to feel uncomfortable. That restless urge is not proof that you cannot focus. It is the moment your brain notices the arcade is closed.
You may experience symptoms including boredom, twitchy fingers, and the sudden belief that checking the weather is now essential to national security. Remain calm. Weather continues to occur without supervision.
Chapter 10. The Real Point. Focus is not a personality trait handed to organized people at birth. It is a condition you create. Clear target. Limited in enough time. Mission to be briefly bored. Some days that condition will be harder to create. Poor sleep, anxiety, low mood, stress, and attention disorders can all matter. This is not a morality test. If concentration is severely affecting your life, the answer may involve professional help, not a more judgmental to-do list. Your brain did not suddenly become useless. It learned that every difficult moment could be escaped with a tap. And every repeated escape made the next escape easier. But learning works in both directions. Each time you remain with the sentence, the page, the problem, or the conversation, you teach attention a different ending. Discomfort does not always mean leave. Sometimes it means you have finally arrived.
Your attention is not dead. It is just living in a very noisy neighborhood. Close a few windows, evict a few notifications, and stop inviting every tab in for tea.
You do not need perfect concentration. You need fewer switches, fewer open loops, and enough uninterrupted time for thought to become interesting again.
It is to stay long enough to discover what was waiting beneath the urge to leave.
Now close this video and do the thing. No, not another video about doing the thing. The thing.